Page 65, For He's a Jolly Good Fellow. Again, it's in A major. Again, this one is in 6/8 time with a pickup beat. I don't see a lot to point out here. If you know your primary chords, that's basically what we're doing. Even the melody is more or less following them. It's because you have the 1 chord, the 4 chord, 5/7 chord here. And if you look at the melody and the notes used in the melody, that's what it is. Look at the second line, second measure. You're here, then an F sharp. Well, this is the 4 chord. That's sort of what they're doing. You get the same thing on the bottom line. So not a lot going on here. It's just in this area. And the left hand, they're broken chords. 1 chord in the first measure. And second measure, I'm talking full measures here. The second measure is, the first one is a 4 chord. A, D, F sharp. And then 1 chord. Next measure is 5/7 chord. These are just primary chords. So I don't have a lot to say. If you want to sing, go ahead and sing. They have phrasing. So just lift up a little bit, just gently, just so we get a little silence in the right hand. Look at the middle of the first line there. You see the end of one phrase and the beginning of another? So it's here in that measure. My right hand comes out. The left hand stays down. The left hand is going to be legato pretty much throughout. So keep the left hand down, but lift the right hand up. Same thing at the end of the line. The fellow ends a phrase, and then lift up and etc. In the second line, you have a phrase in there, so we want to hear the phrase in the right hand. There's a DC Alfini at the bottom, so DCs go back to the beginning. Alfinis go to Fini, which is at the end of the second line. So we're going to do all 3 lines, then go back up and do the first 2 lines again. Basically is what it is. Bring out the melody. That is the right hand. So play the right hand in this piece louder than the left. If I play both hands the same, this is what we get. I hear a lot of people play it that way, believe it or not, and it's just terrible. So learn to play the melody at the dynamic given. They don't give a dynamic, that's convenient. About a mezzo forte or so, somewhere in the middle. Figure out what that is going to be, and then keep the left hand softer than that. Just a light transferring the weight from note to note, and the wrist and the arm just do whatever they do. Just leave them alone, and just transfer the weight softly. It makes a big difference when you can bring out the melody and keep everything else down. Really, it's important. Not that easy to do at first, but if you'll keep at it, you'll get it. And again, the scales come in handy, because as you're practicing the scales, an A major scale, you can practice playing one hand louder than the other. And you need to be able to do it with either hand, so that's a good one. One time play the right hand louder than the left, and then next time play the left hand louder than the right. All the time while you're practicing the scale, so you're accomplishing multiple things at the same time. It's an efficient way, in my opinion, of practicing. That's one of the reasons I don't use exercise books. You got to know the scales really well, so why not just use those, and the arpeggios eventually too. In the right hand, watch the fingering. Just use their fingering. It's just not staying in a 5-finger position. In the second line, second measure, you have the D, but you got to reach up with the little finger. That's a stretch, but it's doable, so you can do it. And then at the end of the line, the last 2 measures in the second line, you're here. You got to reach down with second finger to get that. That's okay. Then come up 1 to put your second finger on the last line. Second finger on C sharp. Because you're in this position for that line. And then when you come back to the beginning, you're back down here. So I'm going to give us 5 counts. Let's do this slowly together. Just check notes and rhythms and so forth. So you're in A position to start. 1, 2, 3, ready, go.